thought overall, I thought we played a pretty good game. Had some stretches where I thought we kind of let down a little bit. I thought Upstate did a good job of getting the ball inside. But I think we also got on a stretch there in the middle of the first half where we turned them over and got a little bit of separation. Um, but I felt like in the second half we started out pretty good. So fortunate to get a win. We're very fortunate to get a win, and just glad that we're in this position.
You jumped on them pretty early and kind of took them out of things before they could get all excited about stuff. It's a pretty important thing to do today.
It was. I mean, they're a good team. I mean, they've played us close both times we played them. It's like I reminded our players before we went out. I said, look, we were up by 2 with about 4 minutes to go the last time we played them. So it's not like we blew them out the last time we played them. So we didn't take them lightly, which I think is a credit to our players. A lot of times you say that. You talk to your blue in the face, and it goes right over their head. But I think this time they listened. But I felt like that we got on a run. But then we stayed on 13 points for a while, and then they caught up and then took the lead. So we kind of had to play through that run. At that point there, I felt like we turned them over a little bit and got some separation after that.
How'd you feel you played today, Jim? Not you in particular, but the team.
As a team, it's a really good win. Like she said, we're always fortunate for a win. You're always better winning than losing, obviously. But as a team, I think we played pretty well. I mean, I thought we came out really strong. And then we had a letdown, which, you can't have those, especially against really good teams. And then I think towards the end of the first half, we got it together. And we just got to keep getting stops and keep playing our execution and, keep playing hard.
Well, Mercer and Upstate probably didn't want this, but I think everybody else did. We can talk about Stetson, FGCU round 3. Did you kind of want to play this game? Did you want it to kind of work out this way? I mean, it's a fun rivalry.
Play which game? The next game?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I'm always happy to play the next game. I don't care who it would
Well,
have been against Mercer or anybody. I'm happy to move on.
Are you glad it's FGCU, though, round 3 of this, pretty fun rivalry, I think?
Well, I don't know that I'm glad. I just think that, you kind of look at your own team and you kind of go, we want to win. And whoever that next opponent is, that's who it's next. But I think you got to be careful of just assuming it's FGCU. You got to get your kids ready for what if it is Mercer. And you got to be careful of stuff like that. So we really try to focus on the team in front of us. I think this game is fun for y'all, quite honestly. But, I don't know that I'm glad to play anybody in this league, I mean, especially with the team that I have. That we're still young. You never know what they're going to do sometimes. I mean, we're very talented, but I'm never relaxing, I can tell you that. And that's no matter who we play.
It has become a pretty good rivalry, though. And, frankly, before you came along, FGCU didn't have much of a rival. How do you see the rivalry through your eyes?
Well, I think the game is good for women's basketball. I'll be honest. I think the game is unbelievable for our conference. And I'm a big believer in promoting women's basketball, and I think this game is great for women's basketball. The game we played them down at our place, that was a great game. I mean, nobody can deny that. It was like a boxing match. It went back and forth. So I think it's awesome that we have this in our league. I think the more parity we get in our league, I'm all for that. I really am. So, but I didn't take over this program going, I want to beat FGCU. I took over the program going, I want to be the best we can be, and we want to win big. And, when you first started out, honestly, when you first start out in this league, you just go, God, we got to try to beat the middle teams. Much less the top teams. You try to beat the middle teams. And, we took our lumps, though. I mean, it took us a couple of years to get it going. It was in year 3 that we finally got it going. But I think this game is great for women's basketball. I really do.
Cameron, do you like playing FGCU? Do you enjoy that? I mean, it's pretty intense affair when you guys get together.
Yeah, I mean, I just like competing. So no matter what team we go out, I'm just ready to compete. I'm ready. I mean, no one likes to lose, so I'm just ready to do what I can for my team and get my team ready to go for no matter who we play.
What are the keys tomorrow then? For you?
Well, I think for us, when you look at the times we play them, I always think rebounding is the key. I don't think you can give them more shots. I think that's a real key. They're too explosive offensively. You cannot give them more shots. You've got to try to just limit their attempts. I think, we've got to really limit our turnovers. When I had to look at the last game, if I had to pick one thing that I thought they really hurt us on was us really turning the ball over, So, but, we've turned the ball over all year. You know, it's what I said about our group, that we sometimes, we do have some youth where we still do that, and we're better than we used to be. But, you know, I don't feel we can turn the ball over against them. You know, I think you've got to guard them, you've got to make them work for shots, and you cannot give them extra shots. And rebounds and turnovers give them extra shots. So we have to limit that. It's not going to be a 0 in both of those columns, but we sure do have to limit that. And that's all right. And I just think, you know, you can't feel like you have to play perfect either to have a chance to beat them. You know, sometimes you feel like, you know, if your kids go in there and think they got to play perfect, they don't. You know, so I think we've got to keep that perspective too. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just to clarify, so when you pulled away in the first half, you thought it was your defense that keyed you?
When we played them the last time?
No,
Or
I'm sorry.
you're talking about this game now?
Yeah, this game, yeah, because I think it was 18-16, point 20, and then 27-20. Next thing you know, you go on a 13-0 run. Did you feel like it was the defense that keyed you, or any particular?
Well, I think when you go up by that much, I think it's both. I mean, I think we're getting stops and we're scoring. So it's stops and scores. You know, when we get a double-digit lead like that, when you do that, I felt it was both. You know, I thought we got stops and we converted on those and we turned them over. You know, we got some easy baskets, and that's where I felt like we got some separation in the first half. But we did. We stayed on 13 for a long time. You know.
Coach, talk about Sasha Sims breaking the all-time scoring record. What's that mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, wow. I think it's really unbelievable. I mean, she's done such a great job, and she's in about every category, and it's amazing what she's done. And you know, when I recruited her, I knew how talented Sasha was, and you know, I worked really hard to get her. So I recruited very hard to get her, and knew she was a key piece to building our program. So I think what she's done has been just amazing, and just her talent, and she's just a good kid. She's a good kid to coach. She's a great team player. You know, she probably could have gotten it a long time ago if she was more selfish. I honestly had called Victoria when she broke Victoria McGowan's record. I said, you know, Sasha, break your record. She said, I don't care. That's one thing I've been really fortunate with this team and this program is we don't have selfish players, and that's been a lot of fun. But I think Sasha, like a Victoria, could have gotten the points a lot sooner, but they don't mind sharing the ball.